What's going on, guys? Back with another video here. Yo, drop a subscribe. Get into it right now. So, what I want to touch on today is I'm gonna probably stray away from basketball today. Talk more about a little bit of boxing and like mixed martial arts. So, in the news recently, Conor Benn just signed with Zuffa Boxing. Zuffa Boxing is the UFC's type of boxing now. That the new promotion of the UFC is backing, like Dana White. So they're doing their own boxing stuff to match up against places like Matchroom and all those other boxing places, Frank Warren, all those guys. So Conor Benn was one of Matchroom's top boxers after like Anthony Joshua, Katie Taylor. He's up there, and he ended up signing with Zuffa. The reason why this is a big thing is because in the recent days, Eddie Hearn has been talking about how Zuffa Boxing is still on the come up. They can't compete with them yet. I'm just talking about Dana White as a promoter and everything. So then just turns around, Dana White comes in and takes one of his fighters, one of his top three fighters as well. And this fighter was a fighter who Eddie Hearn really promoted, really defended, and just really put everything on the line for bro. And bro left him to sign a one fight deal with Zuffa. So, me personally, the way how I feel about things, I think that loyalty is one of the biggest things that you could have in life. But I also think there's a way how you go about stuff as well. So, yes, Conor Benn took this deal. I'm not telling any man to not take a one fight deal for 8 figures. Taking a one fight deal for 8 figures is great because you only have to fight once. You make the 8 figures and then you get to be a free agent again. You're not tied to a long contract because long contracts are usually what keeps fighters down. Being able to sign that one fight deal, and then if you win, you come back to the table. You have a crazy bargain and chip. You could sign anywhere else again. You're a free agent again. So I'm not telling anybody to take a deal with anybody else, but I think there's ways you should do it. And Eddie Hearn said there was no phone conversation with Conor Benn going into him taking this deal and stuff like that. And he's been defending Conor Benn for all these years when everybody was against him and stuff like that. And I just don't think you do stuff like that. So I'm not saying he shouldn't have signed that deal because it's a good money deal and maybe it is his best offer on the table. So right to sign the deal, but wrong to go about it how he went about it. Just not gonna talk with Eddie Hearn about it and just let him know like, yo, I'm signing this deal. Have a phone conversation and just be a man about it. You know what I mean? Conor Benn reflected after he took the deal and said he still wants Eddie Hearn to be in his life and things of that nature, but it's gonna be hard now for Eddie Hearn to go back after defending him, helping him out for all these years, putting him into big fights, and he just turns his back and signs with Eddie Hearn's biggest competitor right now. So, and then that leads me into talking about the UFC. So today we have a UFC card. Sean Strickland against Fluffy Hernandez. I don't know why it's not. I don't know why it's not showing the card. Like, what's going on? This could actually annoy me. UFC card. Normally, it's not 324. Normally, it would like just show the card. Like, when now, of course, it wants to make a big fool of me right now, right? I'm just doing it wrong. And the computer's probably just weird, right? Oh well. So UFC has a card today. I want to see if we could find the card. Oh, this is so annoying, bro. There's so much. It looks much better. Looks so much better when you have the card there. Okay, yeah, perfect. That's fine. Oh shoot. You guys can't even see my screen, eh? Because it opened up to a new screen. Okay. I'm gonna get you guys to see my screen. Sorry about the delay. Still getting used to using shit, right? I guess I'm just not smart enough, I guess. I'm supposed to be smart though, but I guess not, but whatever. So UFC has a card today. Sean Strickland against Fluffy Hernandez as the main event. Number 3 versus number 4 in the middleweight division. Right? Yeah, thank God I said that right. Yeah. So big fight happening here. Reason why I want to talk about UFC though is because seeing a guy like Conor Benn signed to Zuffa for 8 figures, which is over $10 million. The top UFC fighters don't. The top UFC fighters are there's UFC fighters that are way more famous, or I should just say more famous than Conor Benn, and they do not make nearly as much money as that. So I just want to know, like, what are the UFC fighters going to do to get the pay that they deserve, or will they do anything to get the pay that they deserve? Because the profit margins that the UFC makes compared to what they give their fighters is nuts. And then now they have this boxing thing umbrella that they have now, and they're signing fighters to 8-figure deals, fighters who are not as famous as their fighters on their UFC roster, and they're paying them more money because it's boxing. To me personally, I find UFC more entertaining than boxing. You get more finishes, you get more action, and it's just more bang for your buck. And these guys, you have guys that sell out and they don't sell out arenas and they don't make as much. So this whole Zuffa thing also brings in a question of, will the UFC fighters have a strike, or can they have a strike, or are they just going to keep taking what's given to them? But, that's just me. I'm just asking, I don't want to start any problems with anybody in the higher ups, or, so I'm just putting the question out there, just chill. Like, I just want to know, like, I'm just, as a sports fan, I don't think anything, so, just chill. But let's get into the UFC. Sean Strickland. We have Sherry Spivak is back. Dan Ige is back. Jeff Neal. Michael Pereira. Yeah, we got a few good fights out there. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you though. I'm gonna keep it a bean. I don't know a lot of the fighters on this card. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm some type of UFC professional. I'm gonna keep it a full bean. So to me, the card is not really that stacked. But when we get into this main event, what I'm looking for a good fight. Fluffy Hernandez, great grappler, great submission artist. Sean Strickland, good with the boxing, good with the teep kicks. I find that if Sean Strickland could defend the takedowns and really keep his teep kick out there, he could get it done. Like, I feel like today, Sean's been facing scrutiny and the public eye because he talks a big game, but when he goes in a fight, he fights very precise. Like, he fights very precise. He doesn't take much damage and stuff like that. Compared to how when you hear him talk, you think that he goes in there and he just punch drunk, but he's not. He's actually a smart fighter. But I think we're gonna see Sean Strickland take more chances in this fight to really show that he could get into a barn burner. And I think we could see Sean Strickland potentially finding a finish, but we shall see. He's been off with a layout, got suspended for 6 months. The layoff, and Fluffy Hernandez was supposed to fight De Ridder last year, but ended up having to pull out the fight. So now he's back, and whoever wins this is going to be next for a title, in my opinion. So we'll see how this fight shakes out. Me personally, I have Sean Strickland winning it, but you guys let me know if you guys feel any different about that. But yeah, man, that was it. Just talk about a little Zuffa. We have Team Canada Hockey versus Team USA Hockey tomorrow on Sunday. Big game. So we're going to talk about that going into the game tomorrow. So just really appreciate you guys for showing support. Just trying to touch on every sport, not trying to be too focused on one sport because I actually enjoy watching all of these sports. Like, I may not be can't talk about it exactly how I talk about basketball because I really understand the game of basketball to a higher extent, but I still watch these things and I just like to say my thoughts on it. So appreciate you guys anyways. Drop a subscribe. And yo, UFC brass, and I'm not trying to get you guys to pay people more bread. If it works for you guys, it works for you. I'm just asking a question, so just chill.